Hello there folks and welcome to part 14 of our MotoGP 19 career mode, and today we start a very exciting journey in Moto2. We're starting a new season, our third season. The first season of course was in the Red Bull Rookies Cup. Secondly, we did a season in Moto3, finished third in the standings in that category, and now we have managed to get a promotion to Moto2 on the speed up bike. Just a reminder of what we've done so far then. So we've had 4 wins in our career, 11 podiums and 12 poles. Pretty impressive stats. Now our objectives for this season is to start from the top 10 positions in pretty much every race, finish each race in the top 10 and complete the championship in the top 10. Now we're considered a team leader in this team, so we've got to make sure we do quite well. But I've been told, even though I was quite pessimistic about the speed up bike in the last episode, that actually it's not all that bad. And that Navarro, who is our teammate, I believe, actually did decently on that bike and has done this season, and also DG Antonio as well. So we're just going to give this a go, see how we get on and see how we are in the first race. I've got absolutely no idea what my pace is like, but I suppose we'll learn pretty quickly. So we're going to do as we did last season now. We're going to go straight into FP3. You know, last season we only did Q1 and Q2, but I think it'd be beneficial, particularly at this first race. I haven't ridden a Moto2 bike whatsoever yet. I've become so accustomed to the Moto3 bike that an extra practice session would really help us out, and hopefully also get us into Q2 if the bike is quick enough. But without any further ado, let's go to the first race of the new season. Coming to the end of my first ever lap on a Moto2 bike on this game. Opinions, there's a hell of a lot more bite on these sort of things compared to the Moto3 bikes, which makes them lovely to ride down a straight, for example. You have that real sense of speed. But of course, coming out the corners, you've got a lot more torque, a lot more power to contend with, which means that getting out of corners, especially with my tendency to just put it on the accelerator straight away, could be a little bit of a struggle. But that's something we'll manage over time. Now, I've got no idea what the pace of this bike is compared to everybody else, so I'm just going to compare our times to our 2 teammates throughout the session and see where that puts us. I didn't quite expect that. We've topped our first FP3 session by quite a margin really in Moto2. Now, if the qualifying and race pace is as poor from the AI as it is here, I am willing to move the difficulty up, but somehow I don't think it is. They've probably got a lot more fuel on. Bear in mind I've done 1 lap, 2 lap runs, nothing more than that. But let's see what the fastest laps are overall. So we are going to be through to Q2 as the fastest man. But as I said earlier, I think that the AI, it's typical, it looks like that they have quite a burst and quite a yeah, they go up quite a bit in pace from practice to qualifying. So we'll have to watch this space. As I say, if we take pole by a margin and win the race by a margin, of course I can increase difficulty. But for now, let's look at the positive sides. We've had a very good start to our time in Moto2. 2:03.5 then is the fastest time from Alex Marquez so far. Whether that's improved on, we'll have to see, because only 2 people have set times. But Alex Marquez is a fairly decent rider. You might notice a family relation in there somewhere, and Brad Binder just going straight onto the racing line. Thank you very much, Brad. And finally, we can say Brad Binder rather than keep calling Darren Binder from Moto3 Brad Binder. But finally, that's everything we can do. But we've got to pull out that 2:02 lap again. We had a pretty special lap to get that sort of time, to be fair. So who knows, you know, the temperature might have gone down, all that sort of thing, and our pace might not be good as good in this session. We'll just have to see though, but I'm looking forward to a challenge, and equally looking forward to, with the pace we had in practice, being up there and about. Decent first bank lap, just 4/10 off Marquez's time. That's the sort of time we did get on our first lap in that FP3 session. So let's see if we can replicate our sort of delta times and get a time that's similar to Marquez on this second lap, and maybe push it over the line in the third lap. But bear in mind that it's only, I think, 3 or 4 people that have set times yet, so the time barrier could go down a lot lower than that. Second time round, and this looks like it could be the best of the session so far. Just the straight to go. This feels quite nippy on the straight, so we might have the opposite of last year, but this looks like it could be a good time. What's it going to be? 1, 2, well, there you go. That's sort of about where we were. Might even be our best time of the weekend. That's where we were in the first session, but I'm willing to be beaten. Again, it would be a little bit of a pity to take pole in our first Moto2 race. I know this sounds all pessimistic and that, but I would quite like a challenge. But as I said, if it is that easy, well, not that easy, you know, it wasn't easy to get that time, but equally, if we are a second ahead of the field here, I am willing to turn difficulty up. So we have qualified on pole for our first Moto2 race. Our teammate Navarro fairly competitive as well in 5th place. And our other teammate, DG Antonio, a little bit further back. Not as good a lap really, about a second off his other teammate down in 13th place. It's going to be an interesting race, and it's all about the start, as we've seen so many times previously.
Greetings to all our viewers from the peninsula of Qatar. The floodlights that light up the Losail circuit are on, and any moment now the Moto2 bikes will be revving their engines. Once again, as is customary on this track, we're looking forward to great weather for the Grand Prix, with temperatures that shouldn't cause any tyre problems.
It's our first race in Moto2, and I couldn't be more pumped. I'm so excited for this, but we do start it, of course, from pole position. Now, this is going to be my only race that we do in this episode, just to set up a bit of a better... oh, that's a good start, isn't it? Oh, whoa! Blooming hell, look at that other formation that we've been killed. Well, that's a good start to that. I hope that doesn't happen in the race. There's just 2 bikes and 2 blokes sat on the pitch straight. Is nobody going to get up and do anything? Oh, that's comical, but... yeah, this is going to be the only race of this episode, just so we set up a better calendar for the rest of the season. I hope you don't mind that, but it's all about the start here, as I said earlier. The Australia Galizia bike of Marquez, and Schrotter is in 3rd place. A lot more to handle on these starts. Got to be careful about it, keeping the bike down, and we are away here for the Moto2 race. Just going to try and keep the bike down and avoid a bit of a wheelie, but as you can see, we've been absolutely swamped at the start, and by swamped I mean absolutely, Jesus. But as has been proven in many races, let's not be too aggressive. Let's do this right, as in, you know, have a bit of aggression, but don't go stupid about it. Just pick the right lines and see how you get on, and pick through these positions that we've lost at the start of the race. But we've done pretty well, I think, in the first few corners to get back a lot of these positions. And it seems that, to be fair, the way we are gaining positions and the speed we're doing it at, I think we might have to increase difficulty next time round. But nevertheless, we've had a very good start here. Well, a very good start considering where we were on turn 1. Be outrageous to say we've had a good start altogether, but oh, that was a bit of a stupid move to make there, because if it had gone wrong, we'd have been straight off the bike. But I do like these bikes. They've got a lot of oomph to them and a lot of pace, and I'm sure if and when we get up to MotoGP, that'll be even more so. But very exciting start, and now we've just got to try and be aggressive and gain on the bikes ahead. I presume it's Alex Marquez who's took the lead, because they seem to bolt away, pardon me, at the start. Whereas we did quite the opposite. We did, I think it was that formation lap start that jinxed us. I mean, I couldn't quite believe that the game program was just not to start and that we fell off, but that was interesting. Then we probably had a bit of a leg injury and an arm injury, and in fact probably brain damage, but anyway, we'll not talk about that one today. But up to P6, we've had a strong comeback since that disaster at the start. But Schrotter started on the first row, so to get back ahead of him is pretty impressive. 5-lap race round here, but it's going to go really quickly, I would say. Look at that power out the last corner. Alright, fair enough. We took him off the track and probably exploited track limits there. But oh well, that was fantastic. Just coming out of the corner. We've got a lot of bites on this car on the straight, so that's really going to help us with cornering speed as well. But that's Navarro, our teammate, funnily enough. Whoa! That's I think that's Baldassari hitting the other chap, Baldazini, and that's me just not focusing, more focusing on trying to be Keith Ewan rather than Toby Jones as a rider, and losing a few positions there. But our teammate Navarro's made a very good start to get up to P2, and Alex Marquez leads, so can we catch this battle? Look at the power we get out of that last corner. I mean, that's our teammates. That should be must be me being more aggressive on the power, and equally, I suppose, the power of slipstream. But 3.5 tenths quicker than Alex Marquez on that last lap. Not being too stupid into the braking zone. We know we've got the measure of our teammates, so we're just going to keep it cool and make the move when it's right. But keeping good pace with these top two. As I said, we're quicker than both of them on that last lap anyway, which might, again, indicate we have to move the difficulty up. And I don't shut up about the difficulty. We're going to try and win this on our own merits on this difficulty, even if it is a little bit easier than it possibly should be. But around the outside of Navarro, not quite the space there, and equally we couldn't brake hard enough and late enough, so we bottled that a little bit. But we don't want to take our teammate out, so just being nice, calm, cool and calculated, and that's a good move up the inside. But again, we might be squeezed by our teammate here, but no, you know, we made about as a clean move as possible there. We had to push him out a bit, of course. You can't do much at a tight corner like that without pushing somebody out. But Navarro couldn't get past Marquez. The question is, can we take on the name Marquez? I mean, it's a pretty big name in motorcycle racing at the moment. Take on one of the Marquez brothers and see if we can beat him. This could be a chance. Up the inside. No, Marquez keeps it for now. Ooh, it's going to be tight through these corners. But I think we've got the measure of him. There we go, up the inside again. We're being nice and sneaky, but he's just getting the better corner exit because we're trying to dive up the inside and therefore not getting the best acceleration. But let's not be too stupid about this. I remember vaguely last season where we were chasing Boo Vamos for first place. But can you believe it? Boo Vamos in first. Seems stupid now. But when we were chasing Boo Vamos and we fell off the bike, and that wasn't the best thing to do. Now, I've been a bit tentative into there because what we can do is, and what I'd much rather do, is get the slipstream down the straight. As you can see, wow, a lot of run we've got on Alex Marquez there. And we take the lead of our first Moto2 race. Well, alright, so just keep turning, Marquez. That's not going to help anybody. But just a sliver off of our previous lap time by 4 thousandths of a second. But he's gone back up the inside. Is he going to outbrake himself? To be fair, he's kept it to the line, so pretty impressive. We've got to have a battle on our hands here for first, and going to have to stay with it because we've just gone back round the outside. He's keeping on the inside line. Can we come back round to potentially get the outside line for the next corner? That is the racing line, of course, and no collision made down. What a move that is. What, has that finished it? Might well have done. Or is he going to come back up the inside? He's still there. He's still sniffing about, but I think for now we've confirmed that first place. I'd say now the race for first is pretty much over. We pulled and got a nice gap from Alex Marquez, and we set a good lap to go with that, a 2:03 dead, and the gap is now 1.1 seconds to the Spaniard. Now, Navarro is in third, so very good race for the speed up team altogether, really, and me saying, well, this isn't the best team. If you'd have said we would have got a double podium out of that, I'd have questioned you, but of course it's still not over yet. We've still got this lap to complete. Obviously with a bit more power, there's a little bit more susceptibility to having a wheelie coming out of the corners, so I've seen that a few times, just tried to get the bike down as quick as possible, and that's probably a problem on the starts, really. Of course, going from a standstill to just putting your foot down and, or is it, well, moving your arm to, I suppose, accelerate the bike. We're not in a car, but no, we are, as you can see, a little bit of a wheelie there, but we control it. But on a start, we're gonna have to learn just to be careful and just put the power down a little bit slower. You might say, well, just put anti-wheelie and traction control on, but I've learnt now to ride the bikes without that, and I think that would be, it's just another challenge to overcome. Like the manual starts were back in the day, we really struggled to get, I mean, say back in the day, it was about a week ago, but when we first had manual starts, we really struggled with them. Vice versa now with this wheelie situation, but I'm sure we'll get to know what we're doing in a little while. But as I said, we are going to win this race, it looks like, so I am going to move the difficulty up just to give ourselves a bit of a better challenge, because personally, I don't think Qatar is one of my best tracks. So it does suggest that on our best tracks, we might be a little bit too quick. But of course, Marquez, well, his brother's certainly good at Kota, so I wonder if that transfers over to his younger brother, potentially. But coming around the last few corners then, and on this speed up bike, the team are going to be absolutely chuffed. We lead practice, we lead quali, and we're going to lead the race. I think that's the first ever time we've done that. I don't think well, of course, we wouldn't have done it in the Rookies Cup, because we never did practice. But getting a little bit slidey out there, but it's fine. But coming around the last corner, about the thinking, who the hell's this? Oh yeah, it's that weirdo who finished third in Moto3 last season. And that weirdo comes across the line. We've got Rocket Man on the back of our bike. And that is certainly a phrase I'd use about our racing today. And we've won our first race in Moto2. And as you can see, I think, oh no, that's just victory in the moonlight. So that's a victory in Qatar, or Lusail, for the Lusail International Circuit. So of course that means that we do start the season top of the pops. And I don't think that's somewhere we ever got in our previous endeavours, apart from when we had that first race at Jerez with the Rookies Cup. But Keith Ewan's chuffed on the commentary. An English winner, not often that happens, or a British winner, depends how you see it, I suppose. But our crew chief engineers are all chuffed. Been a while since Speed Up's had a win in Moto2, and I bet they're thinking, blimey, this isn't a bad team leader, he isn't. But we've won a race, we haven't won the championship. Let's not get too cocky and complacent just yet. But while I have got you here, I'm going to move the difficulty up slightly, so you can just witness it and say, well, you've actually moved the difficulty up, rather than, you haven't done it. But anyway, yeah, very good weekend, chuffed with that. Few development points for the bike as well. So what are we going to use? We can either increase the engine power, which to be fair, I think that the engine is pretty damn good for the moment. So, engine brake balance or anti-wheelie. I'm going to put the anti-wheelie on because engine brakes are fine, I think, at the moment. So anti-wheelie might help us a bit with rideability. But Rins gets the victory in MotoGP. And Antonelli wins in Moto3. So we're going to move the AI up. It was on 99%, so we're at 98%. So we're going to move it up to 103%. Again, if that's too much, we'll have to move it back down. But for the next video, we'll be going to Argentina and to the USA for 2 staunching races. But thank you very much for your company today. I will see you all tomorrow for part 15 of the career mode at those 2 races. If you've enjoyed, make sure to leave a like down below, comment if you enjoyed as well, and subscribe for daily MotoGP content. But apart from that, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye for now.